Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a beer, it's time for some Path of Exile discussion. Today I wanted to outline a little project that I've got planned. I don't know how well this is going to work. This is just something that's experimenting with one of the things that was buffed considerably in the 3.14 Ultimatum expansion, and that was the drops of Abyssal Jewels that drop as rare items from Abyssal Troves in maps. So this is not Abyssal Jewels that you get from other content, like you get a lot of Abyssal Jewels from Heist, you get a lot of them from incubators and things like that. This is ones that very specifically drop from Abyssal Troves in maps. Now, when you identify these, they will always have 4 mods, and they have a bias towards having higher tier and better mods. So here's a bunch of them that I've saved up just from other content. These are item level 82 on the right-hand side. And you'll notice that whilst these aren't amazing, this is one jewel that's got a couple of high tier mods on it. Actually, that one's pretty solid. It's not great. It's not going to sell at this point of the league, but you can see how it's got some potential. It's got a number of mods on it that are higher tier, and additionally, there were a number of new mods that were added to the Abyss Jewel pool as well. But the key thing is that because it rolls with 4 mods and it rolls with a bias against low-level mods, they end up being quite a bit better than they would normally be. Again, here we've got 3 tier 1 mods on this one. Actually, yeah, if it wasn't a chaos mod on this, to be honest, this is the sort of jewel that a Harvest Craft, remove non-lightning, add lightning mod could do something extraordinary on. That said, this is pretty solid. Maybe even extraordinary, actually. That one probably will sell at this point of the league. But those are just 2 that I've picked up. These are a bunch of item level 84 ones that I've picked up. I've collected these by using one of the Terra watchstones. This is the cheapest of the watchstones that increases the level of an area. But I thought, well, that was a bit of fun to collect those. Why don't I take it a little bit further? And so what I'm intending to do is to run a number of tier 19 maps. So that's maps that are intrinsically tier 16, like this pit map that you see here, but that have the Terra watchstone applied for +1 monster level, the Stalwart Defenders watchstone applied for +1 more to monster level, and the very powerful and quite expensive Misinformation watchstone applied for yet another +1 to monster level. I'm then going to use Gilded Abyss Scarabs. I don't think Winged's quite worth the cost to increase the number of abysses as much as I can. And I did manage to find one copy of the Terra watchstone that was rolled with 3 additional abysses as a Maven Sextant. I'm not going to try and roll this on my other watchstones, but I will definitely be using this to get a bit of a sense as to how well it works out. In terms of the investment that's going into this, I'm going to be using 20% delirious maps sourced from trade, and I can use any map base because I can apply horizon orbs to turn them into a pit map. I want them to be in New Vastir, and the reason for that is that New Vastir has a couple of extra mods that relate to abysses, increased chance to get an abyss, increased XP and monster spawns from abysses, and then importantly 200% increased item quantity from Abyssal Troves. And we're all about scaling those Abyssal Troves, so New Vastir is definitely where we want to be. And of the tier 16 maps in the New Vastir region of the Atlas, Pit is at least one of the ones. It certainly can be Horizon Orbed into. I'm not sure about the others. So I can pick up any tier 16 map that's 20% delirious from trade, and then apply a Horizon Orb to it, and turn it into a Pit map after a number of Horizon Orbs. That's where I want to go. I want them to be 20% delirious because that will just increase the amount of loot without particularly increasing the danger of the map too much. And then I'm going to stack as many abysses as I can within price limits through the use of Gilded Abyss Scarabs. So ultimately, I'm looking at getting a lot of Abyssal Troves doing this. This will get me a lot of chances to roll some of the juicy new item level 86 exclusive Abyssal Jewel mods that were added in 3.14. One that I'm particularly keen to see is 5% increased effective Impale. If I can get that on a Searching Eye Jewel, Searching Eye or Murderous Eye Jewel, or to get the 3% of mana recouped as, 3% of damage suffered recouped as mana. To get that, because that's a mod that people like to stack, or to get increased curse effect, which also has a level 86 only version. So there's a lot of really good mods that were added to Abyss Jewels in this patch, And this seems to be the best way to get a bunch of these higher tier mods together on the same item. So that's the experiment I've got in mind. It may be that it's a disaster, but I thought I'd just give you a heads up on what I'm planning. And if you're interested in getting involved in doing something similar yourself, total outlay. I paid 1 exalt for this Terror that was already had the Maven Sextant on it. That would cost a lot more than that to deliberately roll. But the thing is that there are people who buy these Cirrus watchstones, especially the budget ones, Stalwart Defenders and Terror, and they use a single elevated sextant on them, and then whatever they get, they sell. So that's why it was available for 1x. Stalwart Defenders, so Terrors cost about 20C normally. Might go up a little bit over time. They do tend to go up as the league gets older. Stalwart Defenders cost about 50C for the watchstones, and they were not enchanted with Maven stones. Misinformation cost 1 exalt for one of them, 130C for the other. So that's, you're looking at currently an investment of about 3 exalts there. 6 total Maven Sextants is another 1.5x. And then Gilded Abyss Scarabs seem to be about 18 to the exalt at the moment in price. They're a bit tricky to buy in bulk because it's only really people running Heist that have bulk Abyss Scarabs, and they don't have massive bulk, or at least the people that do have massive bulk will charge a premium for it. Then I'm going to need a bunch of these 20% delirious maps, which generally seem to be about 15 chaos in trade. So that's the outlay I'm expecting. I have no idea what to expect, but hopefully it'll be a bit of fun finding out whether this is a good strategy or not. And otherwise, I think I'm going to leave it there. If you've got any comments or questions, fire away below. Otherwise, I hope you have a good one. And in the description of the video below, I will leave a link to all of the newly changed Abyssal Jewel mods. If you didn't notice, they were changed in 3.14.